Hey guys, Dragon Ball for Life here today, and I'm back with another video. Now, today's video we're going to do part 2 of how strong are the Dragon Ball characters. I already did part 1 where I was talking about the Dragon Ball characters from, the Dragon Ball portion. This one I'm going to be specifically talking about them from the Dragon Ball Z portion. So I'm going to go through all the feats throughout Dragon Ball Z. This video will be uploaded somewhere later down in the line of, my videos, since I'm going to be pre-recording this way before all these other videos coming out. It's just going to take a lot of time to, edit it and get it out, because the last one took quite a bit of time itself. So let's get into it. Now, the first feat that we see in Dragon Ball Z is when Raditz arrives to Earth, he gets shot at by the farmer with a shotgun, he catches the bullet, and then he flicks the bullet back at him, going right through him, killing him. This feat is a little bit impressive, not too much, because all the way back in Dragon Ball, they're already, able to move at the speed of sound and stuff, and be able to catch bullets and stuff. So for him, catching a bullet isn't that impressive, but the fact that he was able to flick it back so hard that it went through his body, killing him, like it was shot from an actual gun, is quite impressive. After that, we have him arriving and meeting Piccolo. Piccolo fires a blast at him, which he tanks. This blast should be moon level, since at this point they should be moon busters. We do see Piccolo later on destroying the moon when Gohan goes off. So yeah, this is a moon level, busting attack, and he tanked it easily. So that means that Raditz's body or durability is above moon level. After this, we have Krillin trying to attack him, and he's able to simply swat Krillin with his tail and smash him through Kami House. Then after that, we go into the fight between Goku and Piccolo versus Raditz. Raditz fires an energy blast, they both dodge it, and you can see the massive explosion that it left off. After that, we see Goku jumping in the air and preparing Kamehameha to fire at him, which he states that he's able to increase his power by, condensing into a single point, which is, it's important, because Screw Attack, Death Battle, they used to be called Screw Attack, they stated that the Dragon Ball characters can exert the same amount of energy as they can handle, but that's not true. They can definitely, exert more energy than their body can handle, and this proves it. So after that, we have Piccolo firing his Death Beam, not Death Beam, his Special Beam Cannon at him. He dodges it at the last second, which destroys a chunk out of a mountain in the back. That is an impressive, destructive feat, but what's more impressive is Raditz being able to dodge his attack at the last second. Now, a lot of people try to put this up as, being a light speed feat, but that's not the case. That's a translation error. In most mangas, it's stated that he just moved very quickly, or, moved faster than the speed of death, which was just a statement. It doesn't mean anything literally. So this is not a light speed feat at all. After this, we have Goku on, in Otherworld. He is told by one of the workers there that you have to cross Snake Way, which is 1,000,000 kilometers or 625,000 miles, which is, shocks Goku. After this, we have Piccolo trying to train Gohan, and to train him, he picks him up, throws him at a mountain, and so he can activate his power, which he does. He sets off a giant explosion, which destroys the mountain, and you can see along the entire area there's a big amount of destruction from his blast. After this, we have Gohan going ape. He destroys the mountain that he was stuck on top of. He destroys it with a punch, and then he's firing off multiple mouth blasts, destroying the area around him, which Piccolo states that he destroys, at this rate he will destroy the earth and there will be nothing left for me. Now, we don't know how long it would be that he would destroy a planet. We don't even know if he would be planet level in his ape form, because it's just a 10 times increase in power, but who knows. After this, Piccolo realizes the reason why he's able to do this is because of the moon, so he ends up destroying the moon. Once he destroys the moon, he reverts back to normal. Now, this is impressive because, one, he showcases he can casually destroy a moon, but also the speed that it was able to reach it. Master Roshi's one took at least a couple of seconds. This one would at most take around 2, maybe 3 seconds, so really, really close to the speed of light, which it takes light 1.3 seconds to go from the Earth to the moon. So after this, we have Goku arriving to King Kai's planet, which is stated to have 10 times Earth's gravity. So for Goku to be able to, fight and train or do anything on that planet, it would mean that he would have to have a power that would exert more than 10 times Earth's gravity, basically meaning that he would have to, be able to move and fight on a planet where he would weigh 10 times more, but not just only weigh 10 times more, but all of his other individual parts of his body, which I've explained in one of my videos talking about why gravity training is a lot more impressive, which you guys could go check that out. After that, we have King Kai explaining, the spirit bomb to Goku and the dangers of it. He states that basically you can take energy from everything: plants, trees, animals, even inanimate objects, and the destructive power is so high that it can even destroy a planet. He states that if Goku does this on Earth, he can take it from the Earth's core, the sun, and stuff like that, but it will destroy the Earth if it's not handled properly. So yeah, this technique is a planet level technique, and this is not based off of Goku's power. This is based off of additional power from other things, that is Genki. So just the Genki from other things can destroy a planet, just a bit of it. But yeah, it's quite destructive, and it can take it from anything. So it's not ki, because ki is only in living energy, living life forms, whereas this is Genki. You can take it from inanimate objects, which is not living. After this, we see one of King Kai's cool abilities where he can transmute things. Piccolo can also do this. He did it with Gohan. He gave him clothes and a sword, but King Kai can also do it. He gave him new clothes that are lighter than his original ones, but can also repel some small attacks. After this, we have the arrival of both Goku and Vegeta and Nappa, and as they arrive, Nappa destroys an entire city. The explosion is so devastating that you see a giant, explosion in outer space that takes a big portion out of it, and that's with him just doing casually. After this, we have the Z Fighter fighting against the Cybermen. One of the Cybermen fires acid from his head, which literally dissolves and disintegrates the ground beneath them, which is quite powerful. After this, we have Vegeta and Nappa explaining to the rest of the Z Fighters that they can grow, Cybermen that are equal to Raditz. Basically, meaning Raditz is so weak that they can literally grow him, and he was one of the biggest villains, like not that long ago. And as we saw, we know that Raditz can take moon destroying attacks. So that means each individual Cyberman is moon level, attack potency wise and durability wise, which is insane. But these guys are way stronger than that. After that, we see Vegeta destroying one of the Cybermen with just sticking his two fingers at. He casually obliterates this guy, showcasing that he could easily one-shot Raditz. After this, we have Nappa charging up his power, and Tien states that it's like he's shaking the entire planet. Basically, his power is so high that even while charging up, the entire Earth was shaking because of it. Then after that, we see Chaozu trying to use his psychic abilities, where he can paralyze people. We saw how effective it was in Dragon Ball, where it could work on Krillin and even somebody stronger than him, like Goku, but it did not have any effects on Nappa. And the reason that's the case is, in Dragon Ball, characters, even if they have an impressive technique, it still depends on power. If a character is certainly too much more powerful, even if they have an OP ability, that ability will not have an effect on them. We see this later on in Dragon Ball Super with Hit using his time skip against Goku, but with Goku he was able to get so much more power that even stopping time did not work on him. So this showcases his level of power. After this, we see him being able to condense the energy into his fist and punch off Tien's arm, sliced it off, showcasing that they can control their energy and condense it to specific parts of their body to amplify their attacks even further. After that, we have them, Piccolo trying to step in, and he swipes his finger and creates a big hole through the ground. He just obliterates the ground. After this, we see Chaozu trying to blow himself up, and he gets on Nappa's back, and he tanks it, and he doesn't get any real damage from the self-destruction. But while he's, trying to attack Krillin, Piccolo gets back up and fires him in the back, which does do some damage. Now, I've talked about this before in Dragon Ball, where if a character when they're off guard, they're more vulnerable and susceptible to damage. Though a lot of people think that means that they should be able to be hurt by any damage, and this really came out from Resurrection of F, where Goku got taken down by a basic laser, and then we see later on in Dragon Ball Super with a bullet and stuff like that. But that's a gross over-exaggeration of that, because clearly right here, if that was the case, then Piccolo's attack should have killed Nappa, because Nappa completely was caught off guard and has back turned and was hit by a character, though who is quite weaker than him, was still hit by one of his attacks and not just something like a laser or a bullet. So they do have high levels of durability even when their guard is down. It's just that they're not as highest level when their guard's up. After this, we have Nappa firing an energy attack at Goku, with Goku just standing there doing a pose and blocking it with his chi alone, which showcases that just regular energy barrier can block an attack from Nappa, who is able to handle the rest of the Z fighters by himself. After this, we have Goku explaining to everybody about the Kaioken and how it works. He says it amplifies everything about his body depending on how many times he does it. Strength, speed, durability, even his eyesight and hearing gets multiplied by it, but it only gets multiplied by a brief moment for like a heartbeat. I don't know how long a single heartbeat goes or lasts, but just know that every time Goku uses the Kaioken and is fighting and doing moves, he's doing that within a heartbeat. So if he's doing much of stuff, he's doing that within a heartbeat amount of time, showcasing his tremendous speed. After this, we have Goku bodying, Nappa. Nappa is basically done for. He's asked for Vegeta for help. Vegeta doesn't care. He lifts him up, throws him in the air, uses his aura, charges up, and his aura alone fires an energy attack, obliterating him, showcasing cool versatility of their, energy itself. After that, we have Vegeta charging up, and now he's shaking the planet like Nappa was, but the difference is he creates giant clouds all over the place, and there's lightning storms everywhere. Now, I don't know how powerful you need to be to create lightning storms or gather clouds, though I do know that an average cloud would weigh 1.1 million pounds, so he was able to gather countless, clouds and create a cloud storm, so he would be pulling millions of pounds of clouds together. After this, as he stops and he blows it away, he blows away all the clouds, Goku states. So he can blow away millions of pounds away just by, powering up and then just releasing all that power that he charged up. After this, we have Goku versus Vegeta. Vegeta fires an energy blast at Goku while he uses Kaioken, and he moves so fast that it looks like it hits him, but he actually dodges it and ends up behind him, kicking him, showcasing tremendous level of speed. As he does this, throughout the fight progresses, Goku starts to obviously have the advantage and beat him by using Kaioken. Vegeta has enough of this, especially since he's damaged and his pride is hurt, so he goes for broke. And he states that, "I've had enough of this planet. I'll turn it to ash along with it, you with it." Then he goes up in the air, he charges it up, and he says, "Dodge this one, trash. Save yourself and doom the Earth." So he also, once again, warns him, says, "Hey, this is an ultimatum. If you move, the Earth is done for, so, there's nothing you can do about it." And this is very contested between the, Dragon Ball fans and non-Dragon Ball fans of, where the Dragon Ball characters planet level and, and the Saiyan Saga. Personally, I already made a video on this. You guys should go check that out. But my argument is the reason he could destroy the planet, I do agree he can, because if he was bluffing, Goku would have called it out. He can still sense his energy, and Goku wouldn't have done something so, dangerous as going to Kaioken times 4, knowing full well that it will incapacitate him throughout the rest of the fight. But he did it because he had no other option. If he could have simply dodged it and it wasn't the case, he would have just dodged it and not wasted time. The fact that he responded to it in such a manner showcases that it did have a certain level of threat. But I do think the Dragon Ball fans misunderstand it. I do think the Saiyan Saga, Vegeta and stuff should be small planet level, but not Earth size level. And the reason why I say this is because of what happened with Frieza in his final form. He couldn't even fully destroy Namek, even though Namek is like roughly around the size of the Earth, and he was holding back, but he was still in his final form. And this is Vegeta way, way weaker than him. Even a full powered Vegeta should not be close to, Frieza that's holding back. The only reason I think that he could destroy the planet is what Frieza did on Namek, where he would destroy the core, thus destroying the planet. And it makes sense because that would give him enough time to escape on his space pod. And then Goku does it, and he hits him with it. We think that he dies from it, but nope. He actually tanks this and comes back. He also then, he's going to go ape form, and he states that he's going to create an artificial moon. The way he does it is by compressing that Earth's atmosphere into energy and then throwing it in the air, creating an artificial moon. So that means that Saiyans can create artificial moons by just compressing, the atmosphere and mixing it with their energy, basically having the same luminosity of the actual moon, which is crazy. After this, we have Goku, charging up for the Spirit Bomb. And as he's doing this, Vegeta in his ape form fires an energy blast, hitting Goku, knocking him off. This severely hurts Goku, but remember, once again, Goku was charging up an attack, and when characters are, their guard is down, or they're in the middle of charging up an attack, or, what's they called, are completely drained of their energy, that's when they're most vulnerable. So the fact that Goku is in a vulnerable position and hit by a full blasted energy attack, also from a Vegeta that's 10 times even more powerful, and able to survive it is still impressive. After this, he also gets hit by the spirit bomb, and he tanks it and he falls back down. So not only has this guy been getting beaten up back and forth by Goku in his Kaioken state, he also tanked Kaioken times 4 Kamehameha mixed in with his Gal Gun, which was stated to destroy the Earth, combined hitting him. And then he also was able to handle even more damage after that, and then a spirit bomb sending him in the air. He was able to handle that. That's crazy. But which is even crazier than that, even though he was severely damaged and drained of energy, he fell right back down, slamming to the ground, and still survived that. So he took all that damage, lost a lot of energy, and still was able to survive a fall from hundreds of feet in the air. After this, he gets up, he gets angry, and he lets off an energy, blast, destroying the surrounding area, sending them all flying. Though he, at this point, was nearly completely drained of his power. He had barely any left, yet he was still able to produce that much energy still. After this, we have Gohan going Great Ape, and as he goes Great Ape, he starts going berserk. He lifts a giant chunk of a rock, which was the size of his torso, and try and slam it on Vegeta. Now this is impressive as a strength feat, because we know that their Great Ape forms just makes them 10 times stronger. It doesn't compensate any other weird way, so it's a 10 times multiplier, basically meaning Gohan with 10 times more power would be able to lift a boulder of that size. And from what I'm seeing, it should be well over hundreds of tons, maybe even thousands of tons. So he's able to lift up thousands of ton boulder casually and swing around and smash it. And you can clearly see in the next image where it's literally the size of like Vegeta. After this, we have Vegeta using a Destructo Disc cutting Gohan's tail, and Gohan starts to go back to normal and falls down, crushing Vegeta. This is impressive for two reasons. One, Vegeta being able to replicate the Destructo Disc that was just newly shown at this point, and also the fact that he was able to survive a 50-foot gorilla slamming on top of him. Yes, Gohan was de-transforming back, but as you see, he was still fully full size before he fully went back. So at this point, Vegeta went through all that damage, was completely drained of energy, had barely any energy left, was completely destroyed, and still able to survive a fall from hundreds of feet in the air while being crushed down on by a giant 50-foot ape, which should be at least couple thousands of pounds. So that's crazy to see. After this, we have we go to Planet Namek, and in Planet Namek we have a cool little fight between Kui and Vegeta reveals that he got significantly more powerful. Well, how much more powerful did he get? Well, we do get a clear definition of his growth, because Kui is stated to be equal to Vegeta when he went to fight against Goku. So Saiyan Saga Vegeta and Kui are literally equal, meaning for Vegeta to defeat Kui, he would be basically defeating his self from the last arc. And as he fights him, he literally casually takes him out by destroying with his two fingers, like how he did to the Cybermen. So basically meaning that at this point, Vegeta would be able to easily one-shot himself from the Saiyan Saga, which is crazy because that wasn't even that long ago. I think that was like a month ago maybe at this point, because it took a month for Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan's spaceship to arrive to Namek. So within only a month, and one fight against Goku, Vegeta was able to surpass himself so much to the point that he could one-shot his previous self. Crazy jumps in power. After this, we have Zarbon versus Vegeta. He fires an energy attack, and Vegeta is able to casually deflect Zarbon's attack, creating a massive explosion. Also, it's impressive one thing that I forgot to put in the images is when Vegeta was fighting against Dodoria, Dodoria reveals that Frieza destroyed the planet Vegeta. I think I might have the image somewhere around here, so it might come up. But I just want to explain that he destroys planet Vegeta. This is impressive because planet Vegeta has 10 times Earth's gravity. So to destroy a planet of that magnitude with 10 times Earth's gravity, because you have to overcome the gravitational binding force, it would have to be at least exerting the same amount of gravitational force it has. So that means for Frieza to be able to destroy planet Vegeta, he would at least have to have 10 times, it would mean that the amount of power it takes to destroy Vegeta would be 10 times that of destroying the Earth. But that's the very least. When you look at actual mathematics and calculations of density of a planet and the size of it, it could be even higher, so hundreds to even thousands of times more than that. That's why people usually cap Frieza off at small star level instead of just large planet level. After this, we have Goku, finishing training. Within 4 days only, he's able to do 100 times Earth's gravity. Before this, the highest he was able to go up to was 10 times. Now, within 4 days of training, he was able to go from 10 times to 100, which would mean at the very least 10 times stronger. But like I stated, there's more to it than just, your body weighs 10 times more. It would be every individual part of your body would weigh even more. So he's able to surpass it within 4 days. Also, he fires multiple Kamehamehas at himself and is able to tank it. Even in 100 times Earth's gravity, while severely damaged and low on energy, he's able to fire multiple Kamehamehas and tank it alone, showcasing his tremendous durability. After this, we see Goku turn off the machine to see how fast he is. He lifts up a rock, throws it, and ends up on the other side catching it, showcasing his tremendous speed. Then we have the Ginyu Force arriving, and Vegeta is trying to he's trying to stop them from getting the Dragon Ball, so he picks up one of them and throws it. But Berter moves so fast that he's able to grab the ball as he's moving and come back before Vegeta is able to react. So he moves so fast that Vegeta throws it, he flies over there, catches it, comes back and stands there before Vegeta even moves, meaning that he would move so fast that Vegeta would basically look like he stopped in time. That's how fast he is. And this is even more impressive because to throw an object a certain distance, you can throw something faster than you can run. So if I was to run at my top speed, I would not be able to run way any faster than if I was to throw. Because professional baseball players can throw at 100 miles per hour or above that, but at most they could run maybe like 20 miles per hour, which is insanely higher. So it would mean that for him to throw that object, he would be throwing it multiple times more than how fast he can move, and still Berter was fast enough to catch it and come back casually. Then we see Krillin about to destroy one of the Dragon Balls, but Guldo uses his stop time and takes it from him, which showcases Guldo having quite impressive, ability. After this, we have, Guldo fighting against Krillin and Gohan, and them showing their tremendous speed. Even though he has time-stopping powers, they showcase that they can, outmaneuver him, do their quick speed. At one point, they fire an energy attack at him. He stops time, and he's wondering where they are. Apparently, they fire the attack and then flew away from it. So they're so fast that they can fire an attack and at the same time move away before the attack even reaches the target that they're firing at. Then once again he does it and they're coming out his face and he stops time, but you don't see them. He just sees their after image or their blurs that they left, even with stop time, and he realizes that they were literally right next to him, that they were only a couple feet away, and if he didn't do that, he would have been smacked. So he has to be really quick. So he realizes that even stop time is not enough. So what does he do? He uses paralysis ability and he's able to paralyze both Gohan and Krillin. Even though they're significantly stronger than him, he's still able to paralyze them and nearly kills him by throwing a tree at Krillin. Now this tree was psychically, picked up and made, so most likely it had his psychic power in it, that's why. But still, even though he threw it at him, Krillin was able to dodge at the last second by Vegeta, when Vegeta killed him. After this, we have Recoome versus Vegeta. Vegeta's getting bodied by Recoome. Recoome picks him up, and it looks like Vegeta's unconscious, but he does a surprise attack, fires a blast point blank at Recoome's face, and he tanks it, even though he was caught off guard. After this, we have Recoome firing an energy cannon from his mouth, and as he does this, Gohan grabs Vegeta, and Krillin comes down and drops his knee on his head, closing his mouth. But he's able to handle his own energy attack even with his mouth closed. The only damage he gets is a couple of his teeth get completely destroyed by it. After this, we see Gohan getting enraged, firing an energy blast at Raccoon, but Raccoon is so powerful he's able to blow on his attack and sending it back at him, showcasing a tremendous amount of power. He's so powerful that he can blow attacks back just with his breath. This is some Superman level type of feat to have such extreme super breath. Later on, after this, we have Goku's arrival. He zooms in so fast that he surprises both, Jace and Berter, showcasing his tremendous speed. Then we have Krillin trying to explain what happened here. Goku's like, look, I don't need all that explanation stuff. I'm going to read your mind. So he puts his hand on his head and he's able to read what happens, showcasing an impressive ability of Goku's where he can literally read, people's minds by just touching them. And Death Battle also tries to say that Goku needs to put his hands on somebody to do this. But remember, this was the first time Goku used this. He didn't know he could read minds before. He could speak to people's minds, but he couldn't read, not only what they're thinking right now, but what happened in the past, because he was also able to gather information throughout his entire mind, which is a little bit more impressive than that. But this was his first time doing it, just showcasing, by training and getting stronger, not only do they, enhance their already natural abilities, but they're able to unlock other unique and more powerful abilities, which makes them more, powerful, I guess. After this, we have Raccoon charging in to punch Goku, but Goku moves so fast that he's able to dodge the attack and end up behind Berter and Jace. This is crazy because Vegeta at this point was the strongest and he was getting bodied by Raccoon, but Goku casually was able to, dash so fast that he was able to dodge the attack at the last second. Then he showcases a little bit of his power against Raccoon and Berter and Jace. As he does it, he spins around and then puts his hands together and sticks it out, firing, Ki, or just, I guess you could say wind energy out, sending them both flying back, which is impressive because Krillin just says it was just a Ki. He blew them away with a basic little Ki. Now, Ki is the most basic attack they can do. It's basically like an invisible blast. Unlike, the basic Ki blast, those are one of the weakest moves they can do. But this is even weaker than that, and alone with that, he was able to blow these two characters away casually, showcasing his great, power. After this, we have Jace trying to, working with Berter. He fires an energy attack at Goku. As he fires the energy attack at Goku, he thinks he's gonna, dodge it, but no, he doesn't. He deflects it, and it almost hits Berter. Berter dodges it, and Goku ends up behind him, which surprised him. He states that I'm the fastest in the universe. How are you able to do this? So, some translation errors say that I'm faster than light, but that was never stated. He just says that he's fastest in the universe. After this, we see Captain Ginyu's most unique and powerful ability, the ability to change bodies with people, and he's able to change with Goku, showcasing how dangerous he is. Even though he's able to switch bodies with Goku, it isn't as simple as I got his body, now I'm as powerful as him. Controlling his body is a lot more complex, which he does find out because he becomes so significantly weak that even Gohan and Krillin are able to beat the crap out of him. And Gohan and Krillin at this point would be completely underpowered. But yeah, you have to learn how to fight and train Goku's way, because when it comes to Dragon Ball, the key is not just physical; it's also spiritual and mental. And he might have had the physical, but he did not have the spiritual and the mental. Also, it's the additional power he would need from the Kaioken requires more training. You can't just naturally get it. After this, we have we skip over quite a bit of stuff because there isn't that many impressive feats. After this, we go to second form Frieza. As he's fighting, he's trying to attack Gohan, I think, and as his back is turned and he's paying attention to him, Vegeta jumps in and takes the opportunity to fire blast at him while his back is turned, his guard is down, hitting him in the back, though it does no damage to him. He doesn't even flinch. He just has a bit of damage on him, showcasing his tremendous, durability. After this, we have, Piccolo, after he fused with Nail, beating up second form Frieza to the point where second form Frieza turns to third form, and Piccolo at this point realizes that, he's a little too powerful, so he tries to fly away, but as he's flying, Frieza just watches him fly and then moves afterwards and moves so fast that he ends up right in front of him, showcasing his tremendous speed. That even with a big head start, Piccolo, and with a power up, he's still able to, would be able to speed blitz somebody like Piccolo. Crazy level of speed. Then after that, we skip all the way to Final Form Frieza. As he transforms, he's an island over, and they're standing there, they don't know what to do. And as he transforms, he fires an energy blast from his finger that moves so fast that it goes past Gohan, Krillin, and Piccolo, hitting Dende and killing him. And this is so fast that Piccolo states, "I didn't even see it. It looked like it was just a flash of light," and then Frieza starts talking. This is impressive because these characters are not only super fast, but they have super fast eyesight. They can catch and track stuff that move way faster than a regular human's eyes can, perceive. And they can, track things faster than they can even move. Yet, even with that, none of them were able to track the speed of, Frieza's death beam and move so fast that it looked like they were stopped in time. And even Piccolo stated all he saw was a flash of light. Now, personally, I feel like the death beams, this would put it at, light speed. I would consider, death beams a light speed attack, due to the fact that these guys, even with their high acclimated amount of speed and perception through their eyes, couldn't even see it and felt like they were stopped in time. Especially in the anime, they visualized it very well. It looked like they were literally stopped in time, like how light would be moving. And the fact that he stated it was just like a flash of light showcases that it was like light speed. So I'm considering that a light speed attack, the death beams. After this, we have Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo simultaneously trying to attack Final Form Frieza, but he's casually dodging them without any difficulty. Then he fires Death Beam from his eyes to hit Gohan, but Vegeta jumps in, kicks him out the way, and it destroys an island. This is impressive for two reasons. One, it was able, just a simple Death Beam is able to destroy an island, but also Vegeta was able to not only perceive the attack but also react to it. So at this point, Vegeta would kind of have like a faster than light reflex right here by being able to move Gohan away from Frieza's death beam, which I consider a light speed attack. After this, we have Vegeta versus Frieza. Vegeta thinks he's strong, he's become Super Saiyan, but Frieza showcases to him that he's way above him, so much so that while he's fighting him, he ends up, Vegeta starts firing energy blast, and he's able to dodge it, and he's wondering where he is, and he ends up literally right behind him. That's how fast he was. Vegeta at this point was, he felt like he was screwed and there was nothing he could do, so he lost his mind. He went up in the air, charged up in an attack, and was firing it at Frieza. This attack is quite impressive because Piccolo yells out, he says, "Vegeta, what are you going to take out the planet with him?" Basically saying that if he fires that attack and he hits it there, you're gonna destroy the entire planet. So Piccolo was even scared. He was like, "Hey, you're gonna destroy the planet," and they can sense energy. So yeah, it was a concern. Vegeta at that point had planet level destroying attack, but it didn't mean anything because in the end, Frieza was able to casually kick it in the air, causing a massive explosion in outer space. This is impressive for a couple of reasons. One, Vegeta at this point wasn't even a Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan level. He was below First Form Frieza without even being I think at this point in the anime they say he was using only 1% of power. In the manga they don't say that specifically, but he was definitely not even using half of his power. So yeah, Vegeta would be able to destroy Planet Namek, so he would be a planet buster casually at this point. And Goku's stronger than him, so he would be even beyond that. And what makes it even more impressive is the fact that Frieza was able to casually kick a planet-destroying attack like it was nothing, meaning that you would need even more than a planet-destroying attack for him to, take it as a serious response or damage him. Because if he can kick away a planet-destroying attack, then that isn't really much compared to him. Also, we know that this is planet level because when it explodes, you see in the anime especially, the explosion, even though it's in deep space, reaches down to the planet still and shakes the planet, but also it casts a shadow that eclipses the entire planet in deep space. Just crazy. After this, we have Goku coming out of the healing chamber, and his power is amplified so much so that he showcases his tremendous speed. Now, this is one of the most impressive speed feats, and it is very contested by a lot of people for many reasons. But what happens is he senses, he senses both Gohan and Vegeta and Piccolo and Krillin, all of them in trouble, and he he states that they're not that far away, so he flies over there and gets in there within like a second or less before Vegeta is killed by Frieza. Now, it takes like I think maybe 1 or 2 panels for him to just arrive there. Now, this in the manga, if you read the manga itself, it doesn't mean much, but if you look in the back of the cover, it states in the back of the cover that they were halfway across planet Namek, meaning that Goku, for him to travel from where he was to there, would mean he would have to travel halfway across planet Namek. And planet Namek should be roughly the size of the Earth. Some people say it's smaller, but it has the same gravity as Earth, so it cannot be. It could be smaller if it's more dense, but it cannot be that much smaller. It would be only a bit smaller, and I don't think so because most of planet Namek is water, and a lot of it isn't that dense, so it's most likely bigger because of the lower amount of density from the planet itself. So that would be even more impressive, but still, to go halfway across the planet is quite crazy. And let's say for how long it took him, people usually cap this off as a second. I think it was within a fraction of a second, but for argument's sake, let's say it's a second. For Goku to travel halfway across, the Earth in a second, light in 1 second can go around the Earth in seven and a half times, and it took Goku could go halfway across that within 1 second, meaning that Goku at this point, even though it's not fully at light speed, it's still quite impressive. It would mean that Goku at this point will be 1/15 the speed of light, literally 1/15 the speed of light in his base form, all the way back in the Frieza saga, meaning that he would be pretty close to light speed, in his travel speed at this point. But like I said, it's contested. A lot of people say that it wasn't halfway. He stated it wasn't that far away, which is kind of BS because that's not far away for Goku, but that doesn't mean it isn't halfway across. And it was stated on the back, which was official. Some people try to say that was only the English version, but no, they have in the Japanese version. It's just translated in English. So yes, it is halfway across the planet. There's no arguing that. I can make a video about it later on in the future, but for right now, that's where I'm going to leave it off. So that means that Goku's speed, he was able to travel halfway across the planet in 1 second, meaning he's 1/15 the speed of light in his base form all the way back in the, Namek Saga. After this, we have Frieza firing multiple death beams, but Goku's able to casually deflect it. Not only deflect it, but deflect away from his teammates because he was actively trying not to get them hit by it because he didn't want them to die. So not only is he fast enough to deflect light speed attacks, but he's also has the conscious mind while he's doing it to, avoid hitting his own people. On top of that, after this, we see Goku destroying a hole to the ground when Vegeta dies with his eyes. Is basically just a ki from his eyes, putting a hole and putting him in there, showcasing his versatility of his powers. After this, we see Frieza firing, death beams from his eyes at Goku. Goku dodges it and ends up behind him, showcasing Goku's tremendous speed. After this, Frieza fires an energy attack. Goku tries to grab onto it, but this energy attack is so powerful, it sends him flying through the ground and hitting into a mountain. And he hits the mountain so hard, he starts, burning a hole throughout the entire thing and nearly comes out from the other end. But remember, Goku's holding this back. If Goku wasn't holding this back, this attack would have easily went through, the mountain like butter. But even with Goku's resistance, it was able to push Goku through it, showcasing, how fast this attack was moving at and how powerful Goku was able to hold it back. After this, we have Goku on top of a mountain, and Frieza doing a ki from his eyes, destroying the top of the mountain, which Goku dashes away, showcasing Goku's great speed and Frieza's destructive capabilities. Goku does his own ki to him, hitting him, sending him flying down, showcasing that even with a ki of his own, he can move somebody as powerful as Frieza. And then he does he does a little bit of tactical movement where he's under the water. He fires 2 Kamehameha blasts. Frieza thinks it's him trying to attack him, so he's prepared for it. But this was to distract him so he can, blindside Frieza. As he does, he comes down from the top, drop kicks him, hits him so hard, he sends him crashing through 2 islands. He destroys one of the islands, skips across the water, crashing into the other island. This is impressive for 2 reasons. One, Frieza being able to casually tank an attack like this, which had this much amount of destructive power, but also this was while he was caught off guard and he barely took any damage. And 2, the amount of damage that Goku was able to cause with that, drop kick. After this, we have Frieza using his telekinesis to move rocks, which Goku's dodging, showcasing that Frieza not only can use his telekinesis, but he can use it and move multiple objects simultaneously to give him an advantage. But this was, a trick by Frieza to get in with one of his attacks. He gets in with this energy barrier thing, which paralyzes Goku and he cannot move. And it's explained further in the anime. It's stated that this barrier basically prevents Goku from moving. Frieza can be the only one who touches it. If he touches it, it's fine. But if he touches anything else, it'll explode. But once it explodes, then the paralysis will be released. But at that point, it'll probably be too late. After this, we see him. Frieza blasts him. He smacks down the ground, and the explosion goes off. Now, Krillin and Gohan are wondering, where the hell's Goku? What happened? And Piccolo explains oh, he's amazing. Piccolo's the only one who's able to realize it, and he states that if Frieza wanted to, he could blow up the entire Earth, or entire planet, basically meaning that he was casually messing around. So he's playing around, but if he wanted to, he could easily destroy this planet. And then we get a little bit more of, an explanation on what happened. This is what Piccolo states. He broke out of the paralyzing light with super speed the instant it exploded. So what happened? Basically, this attack it paralyzes Goku, but Goku can get released from the paralysis the moment it touches something else. Once when it touches something else, it acts off a detonation and it causes an explosion, and that's the only time you can move. So basically, what happened is he got stuck in this ball. Frieza shot it to the ground. It hit the ground, and the moment it hit the ground, it went off and started to explode. But as it went off to start to explode, Goku was released. So that means that Goku would have to move so fast to the point that he would, inside the explosion itself, would have to move throughout the explosion and further away, ending on the other side. He from the explosion, from where we saw it, it seemed like the explosion was like a couple miles long, and Goku was even further away from that. So Goku's able to fly miles away in an instant from that explosion, basically meaning that he was able to outrace the explosion's mass itself with additional amount of distance, while also the explosion inside it and not taking any damage. He didn't take any damage. So basically he was in the center of an explosion that set off, yet he moved so fast that the explosion didn't touch him at all while he was in it, and was able to go outside of that, which is crazy. If you just think about it, the speed you would have to be able to do that, where the explosion goes off, and the moment it goes off, you have to move, and you move so fast that while you're in the explosion doesn't even still touch you because you move so fast. Moved out of the blast radius in that short amount of time that expanded, and went out even further than that. And this is even more impressive when we get explanation that both Vegeta, Frieza, and Goku at this point were just toying around. This was literally a warm-up. So the speed feat of Goku going halfway across planet Namek in a second, which is 1/15 the speed of light, and at this point he was just warming up. So meaning that Goku could get even faster than this, and was faster than this, meaning that Goku holding back was 1/15 the speed of light. So if he's going off, he would be faster than 1/15 the speed of light, and that feat that he accomplished was while he was holding back. If he wasn't holding back, he would have been even faster than that, which I would equate that to also kind of a light speed feat. The fact that you can instantly leave an explosion and not be hit by the explosion while you're in it. That's crazy. After this, we have Frieza charging up his energy to his two fingers, and he swipes his fingers. Goku blocks, and it literally cuts the mountain in half and a little bit of the ground right next to him. But we do see later on in the anime that it didn't just cut the mountain in half; it cut planet Namek in half. So that little swipe of his two fingers is able to cut a planet in half, and it makes sense. Also, they once again state that he could destroy the planet. If he can destroy the planet, it makes sense that and casually, it makes sense that if he transfers his energy to his fingers and uses it as like a whip or a cutting motion, he could cut a planet in half. So yeah, with just doing that, he can cut a whole planet in half. And then he explains to Goku that I told you I can destroy this entire planet with ease. It's what I did with Planet Vegeta. Once again, that's impressive. I think Planet Vegeta, people need to realize how impressive it is. At the very least, I'm saying it would be 10 times Earth level. So the amount of power it takes to destroy the Earth, it would take at least 10 times that to destroy Vegeta. But it's even more impressive because that's not how math and science fully works. Because if it was just the same size of Earth with just 10 times Earth's gravity, it wouldn't make sense because the density of the planet would be so high that it would be like uranium or even above that, which doesn't make any sense. So it would have to be larger and less dense. And the larger it is and the less dense it is, the higher the amount of power it will take to destroy it. So we'll get into the hundreds to thousands of times planet level. So that would put him around like small star ranges. Now after that we have Goku using Kaioken times 20, and he fires an attack at Frieza, which Frieza is able to block it, and it does some damage to him, but not enough. So even with 10 times power, 10 times powered Kamehameha, it could only, Frieza can still block it, and it only damages him a little. After this, Goku is trying to do the Spirit Bomb, and he has no other option, but Frieza doesn't know what he's doing, so he's kind of annoyed by him, so he swipes his hand, creating a hole through the ground. After this, they go back to Goku doing the Spirit Bomb, and then Krillin states something like, oh, it's like 150 feet across, which is quite big. He states that the Spirit Bomb is that big. After this, Krillin explains, no wait, this planet has that much living energy. He's got to be gathering chi from other planets too. And then Frieza says, Frieza hasn't noticed yet. Why doesn't Goku just attack? So basically, Krillin's like, how is he able to do this? And then he realizes that he's not just taking the energy from this planet, but the other planets. And remember what King Kai said, that even the energy from the Earth itself, if it's not handled properly, it can destroy the planet. So if it can destroy the planet while it's not handled properly from Earth, imagine from Namek and all the other planets across it. I think also he took it from the sun in the solar system too, if I'm mistaken. So that's why it was 150 feet across. And that, so like I said, Earth, if you just take from the Earth, a bit of it from Earth, could even destroy a planet. So if you take from multiple planets, but the sun, it could be very devastating. After this, we have Frieza, pointing a blast at Goku's face, about to kill him. Piccolo has Gohan and Krillin transfer over their energy to him, so he uses it, he flies and kicks him in the back of the head, sending him flying. This is impressive because once again, he was caught off guard, tanked a full shot to the back of the head, and still was able to come back. And then Goku drops the Spirit Bomb onto Frieza, which is massive, you see from outer space, and coming down, and it creates a massive explosion on the planet itself. But this isn't enough to kill Frieza. Frieza is just ridiculously powerful. Even after, what he went through and then getting hit by that, he was still able to move relatively, but he does take some damage, but he's not significantly damaged. Then he showcases, his crazy abilities by being able to casually lift Krillin with his telekinesis and blowing him up from the inside, which is quite an impressive ability. And then we see Frieza firing off multiple death beams at Goku, but Goku's casually dodging this. Also remember, this is 50% Frieza, I forgot to mention. Before this, that was like most likely 1% Frieza from what was stated from the anime, but this is 50% Frieza, so that means all of his, attacks would be stronger and faster. So these death beams are not moving, the ones that he used earlier were moving at 1% of his speed. These are moving at 50% of his speed. So that means that, this death beams are 50% faster than the last one, or 50%, or maybe like 50 times, I don't know, but yeah, it's that much faster, yet Goku's still able to casually dodge, which annoys Frieza, and he tells him, hey, can you stop moving? So he's like, okay, I'll stop moving. He stands still. Frieza fires a death beam, it hits him dead on in the face. So Goku says, so the monster who can destroy a planet can't even destroy one little man, basically stating that you have the power to destroy a planet. Your attacks have planet destroying level of power, but you still can't destroy me. Basically, Goku stating that he's beyond planet level at this point. Then we have Goku charging up his attack. Frieza also charging up his attack and says his planet is finished, firing an energy attack into Namek, but it doesn't destroy Namek. Now a lot of people take this and they manipulate this, saying that that means that Frieza is not a planet buster. He couldn't destroy Namek. But we know he destroyed, Planet Vegeta, and we see countless times. So that's just ridiculous. And they say that, but they ignore a vital, form of information, because Frieza literally states, "Damn, I held back too much." And then Goku says, "You were afraid of getting caught in the planet's explosion. You blew it. Of course, that saved me." And then So there it is. He states, damn it, I held back too much, so that's not true. Second of all, Goku tries to confirm that, oh, you're afraid of getting caught in the blast, but that's also incorrect. Frieza states that later on that he can tank it. Even at one point, I don't have the image, but he states that I don't want to be caught in the blast. It'll take a bit of my energy away. He doesn't say it'll significantly hurt me or I'm going to die. He just says a bit. So a planet exploding on him does only a bit of damage, and is just more like a nuisance to him. The reason why Goku thought he would die was not because of the power of the explosion, but due to the fact that, well, he can't survive in outer space, so he thought Frieza couldn't. Because Saiyans can't breathe in outer space, but Frieza has been stated that he can, and it's stated multiple times, especially later on by King Kai. After this, we have Frieza clasping his hands together and firing an invisible energy attack or a Ki at Goku, sending him flying all the way down, even in his Super Saiyan form. Then after this, we have Frieza charging up his body, and I think this attack is called his Nova Strike or something like that. He has energy all around his body. He's trying to charge at Goku, but Goku fires Kamehameha at him, and they're kind of at a standstill. But we see later on when Goku pumps more energy into it, he's actually beating Frieza. So Frieza, to trick Goku, what he does is, while he's getting hit by this, he moves out of it to the side, catches Goku off by surprise, hitting him and smashing him into the ground. Now, this is impressive due to the fact that, Goku was in the middle of firing an attack, and he was blindsided and caught off guard while he was in the middle of it. And we saw what happened with Recoome and how Goku botted him while he was charging an attack. So Goku's in a vulnerable position and hit, and still was able to handle it. After that, we have Frieza throwing a destructo disc at Goku while he's in his base. Almost hitting Goku. Goku dodges it at the last second, but gets his cheek cut. And then Goku comes back to fight him. This is impressive for two reasons. One, his reflex speed, the fact that he was able to, even in his base form, dodge an attack from somebody like Frieza, which would be moving very fast, but also the fact that he has enough awareness to know that he's going to get attacked from back, which kind of, once again, disproves what Resurrection of F and Super are trying to push with him being caught off guard, because even when you do attack him in the back, he still does have a great perception around him. After this, Frieza gets cut in half, and he's dying, and he's begging Goku for his life. So Goku's like, whatever. He's like, I've given you a little bit of my chi, enough for you to fly even in your condition. So the Dragon Ball characters have the ability to transfer the energy to other people to make them stronger and give them more energy, but also to give them a little bit more vitality and live. Because he was literally on death's door, he couldn't even move, but with this energy, he was able to fly, and now he was able to move around, showcasing that level of power. After this, Frieza states, this planet is about to explode. Where can you go? You can't even survive in a vacuum no matter what you do. Only thing emitting your death is. And then he said, it's true. I don't have time to get to the spaceship I flew on, so I have to think of taking yours. Now, this is important for a couple of reasons. One, like I stated, it wasn't because the planet destroying was what Frieza was afraid of or whatever. It's just that he can survive in space, and Goku can't, because he can survive without breathing, where Goku can't do that. But the most interesting thing I think about this is Goku saying, it's true, I don't have the time to get to the ship and fly away. Now, somebody used this before. I saw somebody's video where they tried to discredit the Dragon Ball characters moving at the speed of light, especially Super Saiyan Goku, by stating that if he was so fast, light speed, you can go 7.5 times around the planet. And if you could go halfway across the planet in a second, then how come we can't go to a ship at this time? Now, if I'm being honest, I agree with this person. This thing is just ridiculous. Personally, I think this is a power scaling inconsistency. But in these videos, I'm not going to be talking about inconsistencies. I'll make a separate video talking about, the inconsistent writing when it comes to speed and Dragon Ball and the problem with that. But I will agree that this does make him look bad. This is not a feat, but more like an anti-feat. Because those other ones were showcasing how tremendously fast he is. This show makes him look a lot slower than what he is. So I'll contest to that. After this, we have, Goku leaving, and Frieza just can't handle it. So he fires an attack at Goku. Goku, turns back, fires his Kamehameha. It hits his attack, it overwhelms him, and then hits him, and he gets into the planet's core, and it explodes, and along with him in it. This is impressive for many, many, many reasons. At this point, Frieza was severely damaged. He went through so much beatings. He got his ass whooped by Super Saiyan. He went through all these attacks. He was cut in half, lost the majority of his power. His power was already decreasing. He did get a little bit more power back from Goku to move around, but not enough. And he still used up quite a bit of energy to fire the attack. Still lost So he was severely damaged. Power was already going down, cut in half, power cut down significantly, used up the additional energy that was given to him, got hit by Goku's attack and his own attack, got sent to the core of the planet, and the planet blew up, and he was still able to survive that. This means that Frieza's durability should be well above planet level, even large planet level. This should be at least star level, if he can tank all of that and even more, and his destructive capability is even beyond that. So that means he has a high level of destructive power and durability. Then we have Frieza coming back to get his revenge, his mech form with his dad. His dad says, you can destroy it in a single shot. He said, such a small planet, you can destroy it in a single shot. So King Cold once again confirms that even a planet the size of Earth, we think Earth is, a decent size, and in the universe it is average size, but to people like King Cold and Frieza, it's considered a small planet and easily one-shotted. So once again, proving the point that it can destroy planets. And the only reason Frieza didn't do this is because he wanted satisfaction of torturing Goku by killing all the humans, and then once he comes and he sees all the people dead, then he wanted to kill him. So it's more of like a punishing thing. Okay, then we have King Cold and Frieza arriving to the planet, and Frieza stating that he's gotten even more powerful. So I used to think that in his mech form he was equivalent to his strength in his 100% form, but no, apparently he's even stronger than that, but we don't know how much. Possibly like a little bit more stronger. After this, we have King Cold, Frieza getting cut into pieces by Trunks and then obliterated. So he didn't really have a chance. Then we have King Cold, trying to swing his sword at Trunks. Trunks catches the sword and blasts a hole through him. So he can take out, an even more powerful Frieza and King Cold, who is stronger than his son from statements. But this is also impressive because a lot of people think, and especially King Cold, thought that Trunks' sword was the reason, but nope. Because when King Cold used it, Trunks was able to catch it, and it didn't hurt him, and he was able to stop it. It was because Trunks is stronger, and Trunks is able to transfer his energy into inanimate objects like a sword, making it strong as him. That's why. And also, it doesn't work on people stronger than him, like Android 18. After this, we have Trunks trying to train with Goku and trying to see how powerful he is, and he swings a sword at Goku, but Goku doesn't move. He says, "Why didn't you get out of the way?" And Goku says, "Because I didn't feel any malice. I knew you were going to stop." This is impressive. It showcases that Goku has the ability not only to sense other people's energies, but he can also sense their intentions of their evil or good. And he could sense that, Trunks wasn't evil and he wasn't trying to hurt him. He was just trying to seize power. So Goku didn't feel the need to move out of the way, showcasing, impressive ability of his. Though it's kind of dumb because later on in Dragon Ball Super, they have somehow Goku and Vegeta not being able to tell that Frost was evil. Even, I don't know about Beerus, but they weren't able to tell he was evil, and neither was Piccolo. But we can see clearly right here, Goku can tell that. So yeah, that's just bad writing. After that, we have Trunks swinging his sword at Goku, but he's able to casually deflect it with a finger, showcasing that by Goku transferring a bit of his energy to his finger, it can take these shots, even though it was able to slice Frieza into pieces, showcasing his, how much stronger he's gotten compared to him. After this, we have, Trunks explaining his backstory, what's happening, and Piccolo overhears it. Goku's like, "Wait, how do you know?" He said, "My hearing's better than yours." So this showcases that Namekians have super hearing. After this, we have Goku trying to show off his new technique, the instant transmission or instantaneous movement. And as he does this, he gets, Master Roshi's glasses. And Vegeta says, you can't teleport. That was just simply super speed. Which Goku explains that, Krillin's like, whoa, wait, aren't those Master Roshi's glasses? And then Yamcha's like, we're at least 10,000 kilometers from Turtle House. Which surprised them. And this proved it. Now, some people try to use this to debunk the Dragon Ball character speed once again, saying they're not light speed because, Goku only went 10,000 kilometers, and these guys were like, oh, he was able to go 10,000 kilometers in a second or whatever, and that basically considered, using teleportation. That was enough to prove to them that it was teleportation. But if you think about it, it's a little more complex than that. Now, 10,000 kilometers is almost roughly the size of the Earth itself. The Earth is around like 12,000 kilometers or 6,900 miles. So yeah, it'll be 6,900 miles, which is impressive. So basically meaning that Goku would have traveled almost a full way across the Earth the first time. Think of it this way. Because Goku, he would, the initial travel to there would be 10,000 kilometers, but he would have to also come back. So going to Master Roshi's island, he would have to travel 10,000 kilometers, and then for him to come back with the glasses, he would have to travel another 10,000 kilometers, so 20,000 kilometers, which would be bigger than the Earth. So he would have to go around the Earth, like, almost, twice around the Earth to come back to there while getting the glasses. Now it's even more impressive because this transmission is instant, so it wouldn't be even a second. It'll be even shorter than that. So it would be crazy amount of speed. So that means that Goku would have to go at that, like 20,000 kilometers within less than a second and come back, and even more so, he would have to do that in such a speed to the point where the rest of the Z fighters didn't sense him flying over there, and Vegeta included. This is where I think that a lot of people don't understand it, because the distance that he had to go and the amount of time that he had to go to come back, not only that, but also be able to move that speed without them noticing, especially somebody like Vegeta, who is still quite weaker than Goku, but he would be significantly closer to Goku than anybody else, yet he couldn't sense it. So he had to, accept the fact that it was teleportation. Because if it wasn't, even just using super speed, he would have been able to sense it if he was going at that distance, At that distance and that amount of time, Vegeta would have been able to sense it. So, because Vegeta knows at this point that Goku, though he's stronger than him, even in base, he's not that much stronger or that much faster than him to the point where he can go that distance, that short amount of time, and come back without him realizing. If it was a shorter distance, he would have been like, okay, that makes sense. But that distance, that amount of time, that would be too much of a big of a gap of speed for Goku to have in his base where, he would able to surprise him. So I think that's more based off of their perception, especially Vegeta's perception of, how fast Goku would be. Because like I said, he would have to be many times faster than Vegeta to catch him off guard, without, Vegeta being able to sense it. So the only way you can do that is if he was teleporting to move that much, faster. After this, we have Goku finally back on Earth. He's trying to spend time with Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi's like, yelling and stuff. And Goku's like, it's fine. He taps her on the back lightly. Doesn't know that his own strength, how much stronger he got. By just a simple tap, he sends her flying, smashing through their house, smashing into the tree, smashing it through a rock. So that's just Goku not holding back, casually, gently putting his hand on your back, sends Chi-Chi flying through her house, through a tree, and destroying a rock into it. That's how strong he's become. After this, we have the arrival of Dr. Gero and Android 19. As they arrive, Goku states, hey, let's go somewhere else with, less people. So he's like, okay, you want a place with less people? So he starts firing off, his lasers from his eyes, and then he destroys half of the island. This is actually pretty cool because, one, he was able to destroy half the island easily with just his lasers. But what's even more impressive and further proves my point about them being light speed at this point is the fact that when he fires these lasers off, both Goku and Tien are able to dodge it. At least, reaction speed should be, light speed level. Now, why would I consider this light speed? Now, why? Because what power system the androids use. When it comes to ki, the thing about it, it's not like natural energy. It does not work the same way as energy in our universe. So if somebody fires a ki attack or an energy attack, even though it might be produced out of light, it does not move at light speed. We've seen countless different attacks move at different speeds. Some move, slower than the speed of light. Some move at the speed of light. Some move faster than the speed of light. So yeah, you categorizing, ki attacks, it fluctuates. But when it comes to Dr. Gero, he doesn't use ki. He uses natural energy since he's since he's an android. His abilities are all used by technology itself, not by ki or anything like that. He doesn't have any of that to his disposal. So when he uses his energy attacks, they are pure raw energy, like plasma, like electricity. If he uses an attack, he would use gravity or photons and stuff like that. And you see it in the games. He has photon cannon, photon lasers, this and that. These are not ki attacks. So Frieza's death beams use ki, but his lasers use natural light. So it would be just a laser. And we all know lasers have a constant speed. Some might fluctuate a little bit, but they're usually close to the speed of light. And most lasers just move at the speed of light. So for Goku and Tien to be able to dodge or react to it, they would have to move at light speed or faster than light, because his lasers would be they are just pure light, or pure laser, like actual lasers. So they would be moving at the speed of light. So Goku and Tien have faster than light reflexes. Even Tien, who is significantly weaker than base Goku, would have faster than light reflexes. Now, this doesn't mean travel speed, so you can still have an argument there, but for combat speed, both Goku and Tien are faster than light, which is crazy. So that means Goku's even more faster than that. After this, we have Android 19 fighting against Vegeta in Super Saiyan form. He also fires his lasers at Vegeta, and he dodges it at close range. Once again, these lasers are moving at light speed, yet Vegeta is able to casually dodge it, like literally a foot away. So within a foot away, he's able to dodge lasers, showcasing his tremendous speed. Then he fires a Big Bang attack, destroying Android 19 and the entire landscape. Like, mountains are completely decimated across there. After this, we have them trying to chase after Dr. Gero. He gets the drop on Piccolo. He starts to absorb his energy, and Piccolo uses his telepathy to connect to Gohan and to warn him, like, hey, come here. So yeah, they can connect with each other in people's minds. After this, we have Bulma showing up on her little like jet thingy with Trunks and stuff, baby Trunks, and as she does this, Dr. Gero sees this as an opportunity to escape, so he swipes his hand, sends off an energy shockwave, destroying the area and extending off a massive explosion. This is even more impressive because while he does this, Trunks moves so fast that he's able to grab his mom and his baby self and come back and save them. So this attack basically means the moment the attack went off, Trunks was moving at such super speed that he was able to grab his, himself and his mom and come down. And these attacks should be moving at light speed, so he would have to move even faster than light to grab them and bring them there. After this, we have Trunks swinging a sword against Android 18. She blocks with her arm, shattering it. Like I stated, their attacks basically can block. The reason he was able to cut through Frieza was because he was able to transfer his energy to it. And if a character is stronger than him, they can destroy it, which she did. Also, I found the image right here with Dodoria. I will be putting this there. Like I said, it's going to be rearranged a little weirdly, so some parts is going to be a little weird, but yeah, I'll put that in there. After this, we have Piccolo, who absorbed, fused with Kami, and he fights against Android 17. At this point, a bunch of stuff there was nothing really impressive, so I will skip to this point. He fires his Hellzone grenade at him, but he creates an energy barrier blocking it, showcasing that he can not only create a barrier, but quite a powerful barrier that can block many high amounts of destructive power. After this, we have Cell coming in, and as Cell arrives, Piccolo is startled, and 17 doesn't care too much. He says, even if we have equal... Well, this is actually prior to that. He says, even if we have equal strength, it looks like your stamina is running low. My engine is infinite. Energy is infinite. This is important because the Android 17 and 18, they're infinite energy models, meaning that their energy is infinite and can replenish infinitely. So they have no limit to their stamina. So that's what I just want to say there. After this, we have Cell coming up to fight 17. 17's like, hey, I can handle him. And 16 warns him. He's like, no, you can't. And he utters something quite impressive. He says, we can't let him complete himself. Its goal is no longer to kill Son Goku. It will destroy the entire universe. So 16 is able to tell that if Cell gets his perfect form, he could, be a threat to the entire universe. When he says destroying the entire universe, I don't think he's a universe buster. It will take a tremendous amount of time, but he could destroy the celestial objects within the universe, like stars, planets, galaxies, and stuff throughout time, if he has enough time. But still, this would put perfect Cell at, a universal level threat. After this, we have Piccolo firing his, Hellzone grenade point blank at Cell, destroying half of the island and even further than that, but it does nothing to him. Then we have 16 versus Cell, which they should be equal. 16 throws Cell into the ground and fires off his Hell's Flash, which sets energy attacks throughout the island itself. You can see holes through it. But what happens is Vegeta, as he arrives and stuff, what happens is he still gets 17 and absorbs him and becomes into his semi-perfect self. He's so powerful in his semi-perfect form that even 16 punching him point blank in the face does nothing to him, and he one-shots him. This is impressive because before he transformed, him and 17 were equal in power. They were legit equal in power. But now with just one transformation, he's able to tank his hardest attack and also one-shot him. Meaning that at this point with one transformation, he will be able to one-shot Imperfect Cell. So yeah, Semi-Perfect Cell can one-shot Imperfect Cell. That's just insane. After this, we have Semi-Perfect Cell trying to connect with 18 so he can absorb her. So to do this, he projects an image of her brother and starts talking like him. So he showcases the people he absorbs, he can also emulate them. But it doesn't work. After this, she tries to run and hide with 16, and as she's doing this, he's trying to find her, so he starts yelling at the top of his lungs. He yells so loud that even the people down below, thousands of feet down, can hear him clear as day, super loud. It's shaking the area. Then we see him destroying islands, casually destroying islands, so he has island level destroying attacks. He can do more than that, but he was just trying to pull her out, and destroying islands was enough to, destroy where she was standing, but not severely hurt her. After this, we have Vegeta helping out Semi-Perfect Cell to go to his perfect form. He finally absorbs 18, and as he's going and transforming, Trunks doesn't want this to happen, so he lunges at Cell. He starts firing attacks, kicks, and different blasts, but it does nothing to him because while he's transforming, he creates an energy barrier around him that protects him from all of his attacks. And this is important because a lot of people always say, why don't they just attack them while they transform or power up? But my general consensus was, when they do that, especially when they transform, is there's an energy barrier around them that you would have to surpass to hurt them. And if they're transforming to stronger power, you can't hurt them, and this definitely proves it. So yeah, so if anybody wonders why don't people just attack them, remember, if they transform like Cell was, it will just create an energy barrier and you'll be wasting your time trying to do it. Maybe if they're powering up, you could, even if they do create an energy barrier, there's more of a reason, but if they're transforming, it's a little bit more, complex there. After we have that, he goes to his perfect form, and Vegeta fires his most powerful attack, kicking him in the head, but he tanks it. This is impressive because before this, he was casually bodying Semi-Perfect Cell and could have easily destroyed him, but now his hardest shot can't even, make him flinch. But Vegeta is like, screw it, I have a new technique. He does the Final Flash. He says, hey, if you're not a coward, you don't move. So he jumps in the air and prepares to fire it. But Trunks says, Dad, don't. The planet can't. So basically, he's warning his dad, don't fire this attack. If you do, you're going to destroy the planet. And it was hinted quite a bit, at some point when Vegeta was fighting against 18, Vegeta fired an attack and he said, I can destroy this planet easily. I can't even control my power. I can destroy this planet. So at this point, they're so powerful that if they don't watch themselves or control their attacks or where they're attacking, they can easily destroy the planet. So they have uncontrollable amount of power. And he fires this, but it doesn't destroy the planet, and it's explained by Trunks that he says, Dad narrowed the beam's width. So it would have destroyed the planet, but as it fired off, Vegeta was able to, compress it and angle it off into space so it doesn't destroy the Earth or hit the Earth. So he has planet level destroying attack, but he can also manipulate his attacks even after he fires them. That's just impressive. It hits Cell, and then it sends off flying into outer space. And the anime is a little more impressive because you see it going so far off that it goes off the vision, most likely out of the solar system, and it explodes. So this attack is easily, faster than the speed of light, many, many times faster than the speed of light, this attack. Though in the manga it's a little less impressive because we just see it go out of the planet's atmosphere. After this, everything just ends, and then Cell, we skip over to Cell, creating the Cell Arena. He finds a plane, he puts his hand out, destroying the area, flattening it, and then after that, he lifts up a mountain casually with his telekinesis and is able to cut into pieces by, moving his fingers, cutting it like laser. He cuts into a perfect cube, then he cuts it into multiple tiles, and then sets it down with his telekinesis. After that, the army gets sent out to take him out. They get all their tanks, all their, aircraft carriers, all their missile launchers, all their guns. They fire it all at him point blank. He tanks it, and it does no damage to him. And with a swipe of his hand, he's able to wipe out the entire army. So with a swipe of his hand, Perfect Cell can wipe out an army and tank all their heavy artillery point blank without any damage. After this, we have Mr. Satan coming in, and he's performing a crazy stunt where he breaks, like, I think 13 tiles. Oh no, 14 tiles. He smashes 14 tiles with a karate chop. This is quite impressive for a human because to destroy stone tiles, it's nearly impossible, especially 14. That's crazy. After this, we have Perfect Cell versus Goku. Goku fires a Kamehameha, and oh no, Perfect Cell fires a Kamehameha at Goku, and as it's about to hit him, Goku uses instant transmission, dodges it, and ends up behind him. But this is impressive because when he does this, Cell's attack is actually still moving, because if you've seen the images, after what happens is Goku only appears behind Cell once when his attack is in deep space. And when he first fired the attack, it was, thousands of feet in the air, but it was still in the planet's atmosphere. And then when Goku did the instant transmission, and by the time he got behind him, it went from the planet's atmosphere and thousands of feet in the air to outer space and deep in space, so it was miles away at this point. So it was able to go from thousands of feet to miles away in the air within the amount of time that Goku used it in instant transmission. Now, the argument about instant like teleporting and stuff, a lot of people have arguments like, is it actually instant or is it just very fast? Now, in Surfbone's video, he talked about people that use teleportation are not moving at no time. They do move at a time, but it's a very small one. And the scientific definition for teleportation or instant is a light photon moving at a Planck distance. So the fastest thing in the universe moving at the shortest distance in the universe, and that's the calculation. So it isn't quite exactly literally instant, but it is the smallest possible amount of time ever possible to move at, which would be a Planck distance, Planck time. Now, even if it isn't, completely instant where it's zero time, no time passes at all, if you were to move faster than this, you would be breaking the laws of physics and time itself and gravity, and everything will just not make any sense. So already doing that is very impressive. But yeah, this confirms 100% in Dragon Ball that teleportation and instant transmission is based off of the definition in real life, where it's not zero time, it's just a Planck time. So that means within a Planck time, his Kamehameha was able to go from thousands of feet in the air to miles in the air. So even though it's not like, you could say an incalculable level of speed, it's still insanely fast. This will put it at, billions, trillions, even quintillion times the speed of light. That's just crazy. Now, I'm not saying that it is that fast, because it could just be, what's the thing called? It could be an outlier, but from what we see, that's what is shown. After this, we have Cell, he's like, screw this arena, so he sends his hand out and blows up a big hole through the arena. After this, we have Goku going up in the air, charging up his Kamehameha, and they're getting a little nervous. Krillin's like, no, not with, he said, he won't do it, not with the Earth and his line of fire. And Cell is even like, are you going to destroy the Earth? What the hell are you doing? So yeah, once again, like I said, if they don't, angle it correctly, or they don't control it, or they don't minimize the, power that they're letting off, they can destroy the planet. The only reason in the Buu Saga that when they fire off multiple attacks that it doesn't destroy the planet is because at that point they've learned, how their power works and controlled it. Because 7 years had passed. At that point, it was like 4 years had passed, and you would assume that they would be able to have a handle on it, but I guess not. But in the Buu Saga, they were able to control it and minimize the, their blast radius. After this, Goku's basically beaten. He's almost done, so he takes Vegeta's technique where he just fires countless, ki blasts at him. But as he's doing this, Cell forms a giant energy barrier that protects him and starts to destroy the landscape around him as it grows bigger. After this, we have Gohan versus Cell. Gohan in Super Saiyan first form tries to fight Cell. Cell sticks out his hand, fires a Ki, sending him flying, crashing right through the mountain. After this, we see him firing his death beam at Gohan, but Gohan dodging it by moving his back, meaning that Gohan's reflexes would be insanely fast than speed light. Like I said, Frieza's death beam should be light speed at 1%. So Cell is in perfect form. His should be hundreds to thousands of times faster than Frieza's one. So his reflexes are really quick, and he even dodges multiple of them. And this is just in a Super Saiyan form. After this, we have 16, trying to sacrifice himself. he grabs hold onto Cell, and he says he's gonna blow up and destroy him, which was stated that his explosion could destroy the Earth. Now, could this destroy Cell? I don't think so. Even Cell states, even if you did blow up, you couldn't kill me. So, but he was lucky still. He obliterated him, but I guess there can be a bit of an argument, but even Cell stated himself that, yeah, the explosion wouldn't have probably killed me. So, yeah, you can take that with a grain of salt. After this, it fails, and then Cell, he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm gonna fight against Gohan. He's trying to push him still, and he goes full power. Oh no, Gohan went Super Saiyan 2. He bodies all the other Cell Juniors. He basically one-shots them all casually. Now this is impressive because these Cell Juniors are actually quite powerful. They're able to handle, super perfect, not super perfect, super Vegeta and, Trunks. Because at this point they had that ascended, Super Saiyan form, not Super Saiyan 2, but ascended form, which is more powerful than Super Saiyan, but they were getting still bodied by the Cell Juniors. They were easily able to beat them. But Gohan in Super Saiyan 2 was able to one-shot them all casually. After this, he's fighting against, Cell. Cell's like, okay, now I can finally use my power. He goes full power, and Krillin states it feels like the whole planet is trembling. And as he does this, Cell finds out quickly that Gohan's way stronger than him. So much stronger than him, so in fact, that within 2 shots, he destroys him. Cell is completely bodied within 2 shots. So Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is able to beat up Perfect Cell with 2 shots. And then after this, he goes in the air, prepares to fire Kamehameha, stating if you dodge this, the Earth will be destroyed. But Gohan is able to send it back at him with another Kamehameha, which easily overpowers it casually, sending it flying, out into deep space. A crazy level of, destructive power and, the speed of the attack. After this, we have Cell exploding himself to kill, them. Goku takes him to King Kai's planet, which blows up King Kai's planet, which has 10 times less gravity, meaning that his explosion would be past that of Earth's, it would destroy more than just the Earth. But he comes back and he survived because he says that, there's a small cluster of cells in my head. It makes up my core. So with that small, cells, he can survive. So with a single cell, he can regenerate back again, which he did. And even though he died in his semi-perfect form, he came back in his perfect form, but even above that in a super perfect form, which was, he stated that his power up was like Gohan, so he basically had like a Super Saiyan 2 transformation. After this, he charges up and says, I have enough chi to blow away the entire solar system. Against Gohan, they do the Ki Clash, and as they're doing this, the entire planet is shaking and trembling, but, Gohan beats him in the end. This is impressive for many reasons. One, this means that Kamehameha is solar system level, or making it a solar system busting attack. Some people try to discredit, saying maybe he just meant that he was going to destroy the sun and then all the other planets stuff. It's like, why would he talk about individually destroying that stuff? That makes no sense. The whole point is, I'm going to destroy it all at once. If he's destroying them all individually, what's the point of that? If he's just destroying the Earth, then he won already. He doesn't need to destroy the sun and the other planets. So that's just stupid. Also, there's official guides that stated multiple times that the attack was solar system level, but you need to take into consideration, he said at that moment, he said, I've gathered enough chi, meaning at that moment where he had the energy in his hand, he had, he could destroy the solar system. But while he fired against Gohan, there was a back and forth struggle, and he pumped in more energy, meaning that at that moment he might have had a solar system busting level, but he was able to pump even more than that, so solar system level plus. And since Gohan was able to surpass that with his Kamehameha, that would mean Gohan would be beyond solar system plus, maybe 2 times solar system level. And it's even more impressive because at that point, Gohan had less than half of his power. What happened was Vegeta, snapped, and as he snapped, Trunks, Cell knocked him down to the ground and was going to attack him with his attack. Gohan jumped in to save him and got hit with a blast. And since his guard was down and he was trying to save somebody else, it hurt him significantly as it did it. So Gohan was hit off guard and lost more than half of his power. And it was even stated, yet even with less than half of his power, he was still able to overcome Cell's Kamehameha, meaning that Cell, when he first charged it up, was solar system level, and then as he was progressing throughout the Ki struggle, he was producing even more, so it would be solar system plus, and then Gohan beat him, so he would be 2 2 times solar system level, but the fact that he had less than half of his power, that would mean that if he had full power, he would be able to do that twice as better. So he would be maybe at most 4 times solar system level at full powered Super Saiyan 2. After this, we skip over to the Buu saga, and we have it where Gohan is being the golden fighter, and there's these robbers start firing at him. He catches all the bullets casually, and he takes them out easily. He uses Ki and flips over a car. He gets his Sandman costume. These robbers are making fun of his, his costume and his, his stuff. So he gets mad and he starts stomping on the ground, which destroys a hole through the ground, showcasing his strength. Then, as he's Sandman, now he doesn't need to use his Nimbus, so he can go to school. And he says, "All right, I'll be there in 20 minutes." Once again, like I stated, there is a lot of bit of inconsistencies when it comes to power scaling in Dragon Ball, even in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but especially when it comes to speed, and this is definitely one of them. For somebody like Gohan at this point, even with, how much weaker he got within the 7 years, casually he should not be taking 20 minutes to go to there, because it was explained later on that his home from, his high school is only like 1,000 miles across, or a little bit more than 1,000, which is a lot, but Goku could go halfway across the planet in a second. Why would it take him 20 minutes to go 1,000 miles? And Gohan should be way faster than that. It's just ridiculous to me that he would take 20 minutes to go 1,000 miles, or a little over 1,000 miles. And then even more ridiculousness when it comes to power scaling. The reason why I'm keeping these supposed feats that are counterintuitive to showcase how powerful they are is because the problem with a lot of fans is they want to showcase the powerful feats, but they don't want to show the stuff that makes them look weaker. Yes, it could be an inconsistency, and it's okay to acknowledge that, but if you're going to try to hide it and deny it, then it becomes a problem. So I want to showcase all the feats, even the ones that are inconsistent, and I will talk about the inconsistencies in future videos. So this is the 40-ton scene, which I already made a video on that, so I guess I don't have to do that one again. What happens is basically he comes there and he sees Goku training, and he finds out that Goku's training with 2 tons each, so around like 8 tons, which isn't that impressive if I'm being honest, but it surprises South Kai. And then he's like, and then King Kai's like, you know what? He can do more than that. Hey Goku, how about I put 10 tons each, so it'll be 40 tons. And Goku's like, no, don't think that might be a little too much. I won't be able to move. Which he's not, but then he reminds him like, hey, look, you can go Super Saiyan, which he does, and then he's able to casually move. So basically, it is a total of 40 tons. Second of all, he stated that he can't even move in it, and when you do see it in the moment it goes, he's sinking down like he's being dragged down. He's being sinked down because he can't handle it. The only reason he was able to move is once we get Super Saiyan. So yeah, that would mean that at this point that Goku's base at max would be below 40 tons. People cap it off at 40 tons, but the fact that he wasn't able to move and struggled and only able to move when he went Super Saiyan would mean that he would be less than 40 tons. It would be less than 40 tons, but in Super Saiyan he would be able to move 40 tons. So yeah, base Goku beyond his max would be 40 tons. Super Saiyan could do 40 tons and possibly more, but not that much more. After this, we have Vegeta training in the gravity room with Trunks. He's training at 150 times Earth's gravity, which isn't that much because at that point, even before that, he trained like 300 times Earth's gravity, so it shouldn't be that much. But it's impressive for Trunks at least because he's only a kid and he's in his base form and he's able to move at 150 times Earth's gravity. Even though he's struggling, he's still able to casually move in it. And once when he goes Super Saiyan, he's easily able to move in it. So showcasing, how impressive Trunks is. After this, we have the tournament starting. They have a bunch of camera crew there, so Piccolo takes it out by using his, telekinesis to destroy all of them, showcasing, how impressive his ability is. Then we see them punching this machine to see how strong they are. They're holding back, but Vegeta doesn't care, so he punches it hard, sending this machine flying, destroying the wall behind it. After this, we have, the Supreme Kai explain to them the danger of Buu. He states here that he says, he's explaining more about how evil he is, and he says, in just a few years, hundreds of planets were wiped out. Now, the thing about this statement is, people look at the anime, and the anime they show a visual representation of his power by showcasing a galaxy and it being wiped out and then being wiped out as a whole. And that's where they get that. But in the manga, there's no galaxy representation. He just says in a few years, he destroys hundreds of planets. We don't know how many years is a few years, and we don't know how many planets is hundreds of planets. That's all we know right there. So yeah, don't say he's galaxy level or he wiped out a galaxy, because that was never shown. All we know is that he wiped out hundreds of planets in a few years, which is not that much to go off of. But I did make a video on this talking about how strong is Boo. Is Boo a galaxy level? Is Boo a galaxy buster? And I explained in that one that even if he wasn't a galaxy buster or whatever, and that doesn't prove it, it's still quite an impressive feat, because remember, his plan was to selectively wipe out and systematic. It's impressive because his people think that, well, that means he was just, if he was that if he could wipe out, it took him years, then why didn't he just wipe out the entire solar system? But remember, his plan and the reason why he did what he did was to target specifically planets with life. So he wouldn't be just targeting every solar system or every planet. If he didn't have life, he wouldn't waste his time. Only the planets and solar systems that do have life would he be attacking. So yeah, that's where there's a problem. And when you think it through that mindset, then you realize it's actually far more impressive. Why? Well, for him to be able to do that, to destroy hundreds of planets within a few years, and these are specific planets with life forms on it, that would mean that he would have to go for a couple of planets. Let's look at it this way. Not every solar system will have life on it. So there would be a lot of solar systems he would have to go past because they don't have life on it. And not even if a solar system does have a planet with life on it, not every planet in that solar system would have life. Maybe 1 or 2 planets, maybe 3 planets at most would have life on it. So what it would mean basically is that he would be targeting planets throughout the entire cosmos or a galaxy. He'd be targeting ones with life. So that means he'll be passing solar systems that don't have any life on it, and he would be only destroying a couple of planets from each solar system that do have life on it. So for him to reach hundreds, he would have to go through multiple solar systems and bypassing ones that don't. And the average distance from a solar system is like 4.2 light years, which is, insanely fast. So if he was able to wipe 100 planets in a few years, that would mean that he was going from solar system to solar system, planet to planet, solar system to solar system, that didn't have, that had life on it only. So he was only specifically targeting it. So those hundreds of planets were all planets with life on it, meaning that he had to selectively find ones far away. This is impressive for, like I said, for the speed feat. This will make him many, many times faster than the speed of light. Why? Well, like I said, let's say you're Boo and you're trying to destroy these planets, that would mean that you would have to go from one solar system to another to, find other life on there. But there's a lot of solar systems that won't have life on it, so you will have to even go further than that by passing them to find one on it with life on it. And even the ones that you do find, and most would only have like 3 planets that do have life, so you'll be wiping out 1, 2, maybe 3. So then you have to go to the next solar system. So he would, within a few years, he would have to be taking out, in each solar system, at most he would be taking out 3 planets. So yeah, he would have to go through, tens to hundreds of solar systems, meaning that he would have to go to tens to hundreds of, so the distance between them would be a couple of times the, light years. I know this is a little confusing and I'm getting it a little weird and mixed up, but I just want to get across the fact that, since he was targeting specific life, planets with life on it, that means he was bypassing solar systems that didn't have life, and the planets that he was attacking, solar system that he was attacking with life, would only have a couple of planets with life on it. So meaning that he would have to get those hundreds of planets with life on it by going through multiple solar systems, meaning that he would have to be moving insanely faster than the speed of light to do that in a couple of years. So that's all I wanted to say for that. Let's get on to the next part. After this, Vegeta starts talking trash. He's thinking to himself, like, how even Saiyans can do that, destroying planets. And Supreme Kai reveals that he can actually read minds, and he read Vegeta's mind. And he says to them, in those days there were 5 Lords of Lords, each of whom could flailed Frieza with one blow. 4 of them were killed by Boo. Basically stating to Vegeta that, yeah, you can destroy planets, but this is more than just that. He can do more than that. And he proves it by stating that Supreme Kai, any of the Supreme Kais can one-shot somebody like Frieza, yet Boo was able to wipe out 4 of them easily. After that, we have them arriving to where Babidi is. And as they're there, they find out that Babidi took over the world, the king of the demon realm. So even with his magic, he can take over the mind of somebody like Dabura. But this magic only works on those who have evil and greed in them. So if you're purely good, like Goku or Gohan, it won't work on you. But still very, very powerful ability to have. After this, what's the name? Dabura realizes he realizes they're there, so he goes there to attack them, and he spits on both Piccolo and Krillin, turning them into stone. This is an impressive ability because this means that if he spits on you, he can turn you into stone and you can't do anything unless if you kill him. That's the only way to do it. But once you get spat on and you're not, anticipating it, you will be turned into stone. After this, we have, Goku fighting against Yakan on his planet. It's dark. He's like, how are you able to tell where I am? He says, we're better than you even think in the dark. You can tell what you're doing by feeling the flow of tiny air currents. So you can feel the air currents, and that's how they're able to sense people. And then we have Gohan fighting against Dabura. As he's fighting against Dabura, Dabura has an illusion of himself to trick Gohan to think that's the real one, but he's really behind him, fires an energy attack, catching him off guard, hitting him, but Gohan's able to tank it. It does damage him, but not significantly. Once again, these characters, when they're caught off guard, they are more susceptible to damage, so the fact that he was hit by one of Dabura's blasts, even caught off guard, and still able to move, showcases his level of durability. Also, it's crazy that Dabura can create illusions. After this, as he's fighting Gohan, he's able to create a sword out of nothing. Then after this, we have Boo's revival, and as Boo's revived, he showcases his tremendous speed because Gohan grabs the Supreme Kai and tries to fly away. Boo just stands there, watches them, and then dashes so fast that he ends up in front of him. As he does this, he starts to fight them. Supreme Kai releases a Ki, hits him back, but it does nothing to him, and then he releases his own Ki, sending Supreme Kai flying. Gohan tries to interfere, but he fires an energy blast that sends him flying, and Babidi says, I can't even see him anymore. Fly to the ends of the universe. Now that could just be a hyperbolic statement, but still, the fact that he was able to send Gohan flying with just an easy energy attack, and by his statement by going to the ends of the earth, is quite impressive. But this is stopped by Supreme Kai when he does a Ki, basically setting off the explosion to release Gohan. So his Ki can detonate off explosions. Then we see Majin Buu's favorite technique, most powerful technique, where he can turn people into whatever object he wants. He turns Dabura into a cookie and then eats him. After this, we have Vegeta fighting Buu, and he decides to self-destruct, so he blows up, creating a massive explosion. He could do more than that, but he did contain it. I did explain in my how key control and how it works, and I explained that he created a barrier around him to minimize the blast radius. After this, we see Boo's another visibility where he can instantly heal somebody. At this point, Babidi's on the ground, he's dying, but Buu uses an antenna to fully heal him, going from cut in half and dying to fully healed. After this, we have Babidi's crazy magic ability where he can connect to the minds of all the people on Earth and basically warn them what's going to happen. And as he does this, Buu is able to lift up. He's able to lift up all the people on Earth with his telekinesis and transform them into candy. So he has the ability to lift up an entire city of people with telekinesis and transmute them all into candy. And then he destroys the entire city by blowing on it with his breath. Then after this, we have one of the guys trying to give Babidi information about Piccolo and them, but it isn't the information he wants, so he blows up his head by using magic. So you can kill regular people with just his magic alone not being even there. Then we have Goku going Super Saiyan 3, and it's stated as like the entire planet shaking. We do see the entire stuff shaking stuff. Goku fires off in Kamehameha, but it is deflected by Buu and goes back and forth. It hits a piece of the earth, and it's stated by Babidi that you destroyed 1/10 of the earth itself. Then we see Boo's tremendous speed as he's running through a city and he destroys the city because of the amount of speed he's able to go at. Then we see Gohan using Goku using his instant transmission, so powerful that he can not only teleport from one place to another, but he can even teleport from one dimension to another. Because he teleported from the afterlife all the way to Supreme Kai's planet, which is outside of the Dragon Ball macrocosm. Once again, we see Boo's healing abilities, where he's able to heal a blind kid. Then we see Goku's strength. He lifts up a giant boulder, which should be at least 50 tons, and he states it's a small one. Then we see Supreme Kai's ability to create things out of nowhere. He creates Kachin metal, which is the hardest metal in the universe. He throws it, Goku throws it, and Gohan tries to cut it, but it breaks the sword. Now, some people say that this is neutronium, which is neutron star, the parts of a neutron star. But neutronium is a super fluid where it's a solid state, and a fluid where this is just a solid, and also it would have a high level of gravity, which this doesn't show it. So I don't think it's neutronium, but it could be still insanely dense, because even stuff like tungsten in our world is one of the hardest materials in the world, and it's super heavy. But that doesn't mean that if it's hard that it's going to be necessarily very heavy, but it could be. After this, within one day, Boo's able to wipe out 80% of the Earth's population. Then we see super Gotenks, and we see his tremendous speed. He moves so fast that he's able to create giant loops around the planet and move around it. And it's even more impressive when Piccolo shows up and he starts talking trash. He said, I circled the globe a few dozen times and even took a nap. Now, some people try to say, well, this isn't that impressive, because if they were, Goku's able to go halfway across the, planet Namek all the way back then, being close to the speed of light, then how come he can only go dozens of times within 30 minutes because of the 30-minute time limit? But people need to realize that they stated also that they slept. We don't know how long a small nap is, but it still did take up some time. So who knows? Maybe he went around the Earth's globe a couple of dozen of times in a second or whatever, and then went to take a rest and for the rest of the time, and then Piccolo came at that time. So it could have been that case, but we don't know. But yeah, dozens of times. So he went around the Earth 12 times. We don't know what time frame, so that could be good or bad. But also it was big loops, so it would be even more, because he would be traveling even further distance. It wasn't like he was tight on the planet. After this, we have one of these, crazy guys that shot B, trying to take out Boo. They fire a rocket at his face. He takes it point blank, no damage. Then evil Boo comes out, shoots off an energy attack, destroying the entire landscape in the mountains there. Fat Boo fights him, fires his beam to turn him into chocolate, but he blows it back at him, showcasing the strength of his super breath, being able to push back that technique right at him. Then we see Super Boo firing off his attack that annihilates the rest of the population. It specifically targets the humans, killing them. Then we have Super Boo, Piccolo, and Gotenks in the hyperbolic time chamber, and we see Gotenks be able to create kamikaze ghosts, which are spit kind of ghosts that have sentience, which is quite impressive. They do blow up Super Boo. He explodes into many chunks. They start disintegrating him, but he comes back from the smoke. This is impressive because this showcases the Dragon Ball characters can, their energy attacks are not just pure energy, it also has heat behind it, so it can disintegrate, but also Boo can regenerate even from smoke. So you have to destroy him from the molecular level if you want to beat him. After this, Gotenks start messing around and act like they're in trouble, but they do have Super Saiyan 3. But Piccolo doesn't know this, so he's like, oh crap, what should I do? So he destroys the doorway between the hyperbolic time chamber and the regular world, and Gotenks like, what the hell? And Boo at this point is just losing it, and he starts yelling and stuff, and he screams so loud that he tears a hole through the dimensions between the hyperbolic time chamber and our reality. And Piccolo even states he blew a hole through the dimensional barrier with his chi. So just with his energy alone and his screaming, he was able to blow a hole through the dimensional barrier. So you can destroy holes through dimensional barriers by just yelling, which is, I would say, the most powerful feat that we've seen throughout Dragon Ball Z. After this, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks does the same thing, so he's on his level, and they both are so powerful that with just a scream and a bit of a chi release, can punch a hole through dimensions. Can you imagine their physical attacks, like their punches or energy attacks? That would be crazy. Then we see Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks do a crazy ability where he transforms Boo into this weird spherical thing. So he's able to create some stuff out of thin air, and then he plays volleyball, smacking down to the ground, creating a giant explosion. After this, he fires multiple, basic ki blasts like Vegeta, but unlike Vegeta, it's so powerful that it's stated by Piccolo that you will destroy the Earth. So yeah, even basic ki Ki Blast from Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks could destroy the Earth if he doesn't control himself. He gets punched. He punches Super Buu through the city, smashing it through, into buildings and stuff. And then as he comes, he fires an energy blast, destroying the city. Then we have Mystic Gohan versus Super Buu. Mystic Gohan, Gohan fires an attack underground at Super Buu, but he knocks it back, sending it through the Earth, showcasing the amount of power that this attack has, that it can burrow through the planet, but also the strength that not Buuhan, it was Gotenks Super Buu Gotenks Absorb. Sorry if this is a little confusing. I forget always the name for him. But yeah, Super Buu Gotenks Absorbed is so strong that he's able to smack that attack and with so much force that it sends through the planet. Then after this, Gohan is about to be killed by, one of his attack, but Tien saves him with his Tri-Beam, sending it flying off. The only reason he's showcasing two things. One, that his Tri-Beam can, deflect even more powerful attacks, but also the angle that matters, because he hit it from the side, sending it away. So that's why. And then we see Super Buu charging in to dash at Goku to hit him with his, his Double Fist, but he does the instant transmission and, gets out of there, showcasing his tremendous speed of, he was almost able to hit him while he was doing instant transmission. After this, we have Super Vegito showcasing his abilities, where he created a large sword, stabbing through him. Even more strength, even though Buuhan turned him to candy, he's still able to have his consciousness and fight him and beat him up as a piece of candy, showcasing how powerful he is. Once again, proving that even if you have an OP ability of some character has a high level of power, they can surpass it. So even transforming people and objects and people into different things, it cannot stop them. So that's insane that he can do that. And remember, this is Buuhan, which is even stronger. After this, we have Goku and Vegeta in Super Buu's mind, and they're taking out all the other parts so he gets weaker. But as he's outside the real world, he can get inside his own mind, so he can invade his own mind of something is happening there. After that, they take out all the other people. He reverts back to Kid Buu. As he does this, he fires off a basic Ki Blast, which Vegeta jumps in and deflects. And Goku says, "That was close. He tried to blow up the Earth without warning." And he says, "That little rat, he's trying to kill himself too." But yeah, so basically what happened was Kid Buu fired a basic Ki Blast that nearly destroyed the entire planet. And if Vegeta didn't interfere, it would have. And Goku literally confirms it. Now this is insanely powerful because yes, we've seen them destroy planets before, but usually they still use quite powerful attacks. This time it's a basic Ki Blast. This is one of the most weakest abilities or ways they can use their attacks, because this is the lowest level. Above that is actual regular attacks and then super attacks like the Kamehameha and Final Flash. So if a basic Ki Blast can destroy a planet, then that means that a Kamehameha or any other attack from Kid Buu would be insanely above that. So yeah, basic Ki Blasts at this point are planet level. So if they're tanking, think of it this way: when Goku was fighting against Buu, he was getting hit by multiple of them, meaning that every single Ki Blast that he was getting hit with was planet level, and his punches should be strong as that. So he was getting hit with punches and energy blasts that are planet level, and even beyond that, multiple times. Also, we've seen Vegeta, he can fire multiple of these blasts out, hundreds to thousands of these blasts within a short amount of time. And a single one of his Buus is planet level. So that means Kid Buu can fire off hundreds to thousands of planet destroying attacks in a short amount of time. Like within a fraction of a second, he can fire thousands of planet busting attacks casually, and these guys can tank it. So after this, he fires a giant attack, which Goku says, "No, you'll destroy the Earth, don't do it, fight with us." Now, some people try to say that this attack was only 10 times, planet level because of what was stated in the anime, but that was only an English dub translation error. In the original Japanese version and in the corrected dub version, this was never stated. That actually, Goku never stated anything about how much times. He just stated he can destroy the Earth. And it wouldn't make sense to be only 10 times of a basic Ki Blast can destroy a planet, and this is a more condensed and controlled energy attack that was significantly bigger. It should do way more than 10 times. So yeah, that was, a Funimation dub only line. It was never in the manga or in the original. After this, we see Goku fighting against, Kid Buu. he at this point he took multiple attacks from Kid Buu, showcasing that Super Saiyan 3 Goku might not be at the same level as Kid Buu, but he's pretty close. So that means that his Ki Blast will also be planet level, and he'll be many times past that of planet level. And he's also able to hold back and hurt him by using his psychic attack. But yeah, like I said, throughout the fight, he gets hit by multiple Ki Blasts and even Kamehamehas, which should be insanely above that, and giant energy attacks by Kid Buu. So meaning even the most weakest attack will be planet level, so anything else that besides that would be beyond planet level. So Goku at this point should be insanely durable, way beyond solar system level. And as he's doing this, Goku's charging up a Spirit Bomb. While he does this, Kid Buu charges up a big attack and fires at him, but Goku's able to move out of the way, showcasing that even if he does use, a Spirit Bomb, he can move out of the way while he's firing at him. So yeah, that was pretty much it for this video. I know there's a lot to cover. I went through a lot. It was a lot of back and forth, but I felt like it was necessary. Yeah, the feats in Dragon Ball Z, when you look at it, it isn't as much as you would think, but it's still quite impressive. I still think the most impressive feats was Super Buu and Trunks Gotenks being able to punch a hole through dimensions by just shouting. Kid Buu's basic Ki Blast being planet level, and then above that, and Goku being able to dodge Dr. Gero's lasers, which would be fast and light reflexes. So yeah. That's pretty much it for this. I know I'm not going to be, this is going to take some time, but yeah, sorry for that. I'm kind of lazy, I procrastinate, and this video is going to be quite long and hard to put in all those feats. And I know I've stuttered a little bit, but, that's just who I am. I stutter quite a bit sometimes, especially since this one, I had to go through all the images, and it was big, and some of the stuff I got confused. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.